Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss the chapter People as Resource, chapter number 2, class 9, Economics. Now, this is very interesting chapter. So it's a lengthy chapter, so we will discuss it in different parts. So now today, as per this video, we are going to discuss about the introduction, about people as resource, and yeah, of course, we are going to discuss about the story of two persons, which is related to the chapter that is the story of Sakal and Vilas. So before we move on to the topic, we have to know that what in this chapter is comprises of what. Of course, this chapter, the name suggests in the chapter that people are treated as a resource. We, the human being, are a resource, a very important resource for the economy. Now, what all things we can discuss in this chapter? First, we have to discuss about the overview, and then we have to discuss about the stories of Sakal and Vilas. Now let us discuss about people as a resource. As per this chapter, and generally also if we discuss about people, like we the human being, we are always people should be considered as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. So we should also know the meaning of asset and liability. Asset is something which gives us benefit for a longer period of time or which gives us benefit in the future. That is called an asset. And liability is something which we can say in a simple term, in a simple language, that it is a burden. Any kind of burden can be called as liability. Now, in this chapter, we are going to discuss how the people are considered as an asset rather than liability. Generally, we, the human being, are always considered as an liability rather than assets. Now, the question comes that population becomes human capital. Like we, a lot of population in our country, it turns out to be an human capital. We can call as an human capital if a proper investment is being made in education, training and medical care. Now, what is human capital? See, there are two capitals. One is physical capital and one is human capital. Physical capital are generally material, machine, method to do the work, money. These all are the physical capital, like land and other resources can called be a physical capital. And the other one is human capital, like we the human being, we the existing population, we are being called as an human capital. So human capital is one of the main, or we can say one of the significant capital, where if a proper investment is being made, if a country, if a government invest proper, government does a proper investment in field of education, if they give proper education to the people, they give proper training, different skill can be inculcate, if they give proper medical care, health facilities, then the same population can be converted into a human capital, and that is going to prove an asset for the economy rather than a liability. So human resource is something which can be developed by becoming educated and healthy, and that human capital is known as human capital formation. So it's necessary to invest in the human capital through education, training and medical care. Now, when we talk about human capital, how they can be, how they can contribute to the country. Of course, a human capital, if your population is skilled, if your population is educated, literate, healthy, then the same population can also contribute to the national income. They can increase our GDP, gross domestic product can be increased, they can serve to the society, they can contribute in the national product, in the national income. So of course, a healthy population, a skilled population can create a gross national product and can contribute to the economy. Now when we talk about human resource, like we all are the people, we all are human resource, we are also one of the very important resource of our country. And we can be developed our how our transformation can be done from an unskilled person to a skilled, from an uneducated person to educated, from a sick person to a healthy person, if a proper investment is being made in us. Like if a government or a country is making a proper investment in human resource in us, we can contribute to the national growth of a country, and we can contribute in the human capital formation. So when human being, they are being developed by education and health, we call it human capital formation. So yes, of course, human being and the human resources are the biggest assets of economy rather than a liability. Often this ideology has been there in our society, that if a population is big, if any country has a very large number of population, the population in that country is considered, the government or means many of the people, they considered that they are, the population is liability, it's a burden for the country, so they try down to reduce the population. But no, there are certain examples of the country where the country uses their population as a resource, as an asset. Like if I give you an example of Japan, you see Japan is one of the country which has used its human capital in the best way and given a best output and has a best remark in the world because of its human capital formation. So yes, this ideology has to be changed, that we the human being, we should not be considered as a liability, rather a population should be considered as an asset. And how it can be done? It can be done by one way. If you can see, it is flashing on the screen. It can be done in one way, if we invest in human capital. If we invest in human capital, in their education, in their health, in their training, in the research, so this can give us an investment, and that human capital can be there. Investment in human capital can give returns, just like investment in physical capital. Of course, we invest a lot of amount in physical capital, in land and in other resources, and we get a return, we get a profit. So if we are investing in physical capital and it's a picture, you can say we get a profit in terms of money. Similarly, if we are investing in human capital also, we can get return in terms of profit even in the human capital also. But for that we had to made investment for the betterment of the people. See, this whole chapter is related to the people, related to us, that how the people can be turned into a resource. So we will be discussing each and everything related to human being, related to us, and will be treated as a resource. Now if you see, there's an importance. If we talk about human resource, human capital, there's an example in your book also given regarding green revolution. Green revolution is one of the best example where a knowledge has been put in a proper way with the help of technologies, with the help of the IT revolution, and the productivity has been increased, and it has turned into a green revolution. Green revolution was actually an era, a time where the production of wheat and rice was the highest. That's why the name has been termed as green revolution, and this was only possible because of the greater knowledge has been improved, and because of the production technologies has improved the productivity. And we can also say that India's IT revolution, information and technology revolution, has given us an striking example that how human capital can acquire, can get a higher position than material, plant and machinery. See, physical capital cannot use themselves. One very important line: land, machinery, money, they cannot use themselves because they are physical capital. We need always a human being, we always need a person, we always need a resource in the form of people to operate, to do or to utilize these resources. So even for using physical capital also, there is a need of human capital. So we have to understand the importance of human capital. Now when we talk about the human capital, it's my question to you, if you can just give an answer through your comments if you like my video. And if any opinion, any idea comes to your mind, you please write it into the comment box, that how can a doctor, how can a teacher and an engineer or even a teller is termed, they are an assets to the economy, how they contribute to the economy. Please write your answer in the comment box. Please write your opinion, that these are also a human being and how they are termed or turned to be a human resource. Please write your comments. Now, because in this chapter we are discussing about people as resource, so in this chapter, as you can see, one picture is flashing on the screen, and here we are going to discuss about the story of Sakal and Vilas, that how education, health, and other terms have proved to make them a better human capital formation. Now, see, there were two friends, one is Sakal and one is Vilas. Both of them, I'm just telling you a story in the brief. Both of them were living in the same village. Sakal, he was one 12-year-old boy. He was having his mother, Sheila. The name of the mother was Sheila, who used to look after the domestic household work. And father was working in the field. Sakal, he was helping his mother in the domestic chores also. And Sakal was having his younger brother Jitu and Situ also. Sakal was having his uncle who has done the matriculation exam, but he has not got any job, so he was sitting idle in the home. Now, after a time, what happened? Sakal has joined the village in the school. He was very much eager to get education. He joined the village school, and later on what he had done, he has started completed his higher studies. Father has taken a loan. Okay, and father has asked Sakal to continue his studies. So Sakal was a very meritorious and interested in his studies. He has done a lot of hard work, vigor, struggle with lot of enthusiasm. He has completed a course in computers. Okay, though he was living in a village, has done his education from a village, was he was excited and enthusiastic to complete his education. So he has done a professional course in computers. Later on, when he completed his computer course, he got a job in one private firm. Now, after getting a job in the private firm, Sakal has got a job, he has got a proper income, and later on, he has created one software which has increased the sale of the firm. And because of this, his boss was happy, and the boss has rewarded him with a promotion also. So this is one story, keep you in your mind, that is of Sakal. And the next story is the story of Vilas, that Vilas was again a 11-year-old boy living in the same village where Sakal used to live. Vilas' father was a fisherman and he died away. He was not well, so he died away when Vilas was only 2 years old. So, of course, now the mother has to look after all the family and all the household work. So, mother, what she was doing, she was selling the fish in the fish market, and hardly she was able to earn 150 rupees a day by selling a fish. Now, this is the story of Vilas. Vilas had also, by the time he was very young, he had become a patient of arthritis also. Arthritis is a disease which is related to bones, because of there are multiple reasons of that. So Vilas has become a patient of arthritis. Mother was not able to take him to the doctor because they were not having that much income, so they can consult to a doctor. And on the other hand, Vilas himself, he was not interested in his studies, so he started helping his mother in cooking and all other work to look after his younger brother also. After some time, when the time passes, Vilas' mother, she started, falling sick. She fell sick, and after a time, there was no one in the family to support. And later on, the Vilas too has to sell the fish in the same village. Like he has started doing the same work what his mother and father used to do, and he was again able to earn a very meager, a very small income, to which we can call him that he was earning a very small livelihood for the family. So now this was a story related to two people in the same village. One was Sakal and the other was Vilas. Now if we differentiate, if we compare that what is the comparison or what is the differences between these two stories. So in two cases we will see first and the prime difference that Vikas and Sakal, that Sakal went to school. He has continued his education whereas Vilas did not go. Secondly, Vilas was physically challenged boy. He was having a problem of arthritis, whereas Sakal was physically and mentally fit. He was strong and healthy. There was no need for the Sakal to go to the doctor, but Vilas was a patient of arthritis and he has to go to the doctor, which most probably, unfortunately, he was not able to go. And Sakal, because he has continued his education, he has acquired a degree in the professional course in computer programming and he found a job in a private firm. While Vilas has not continued his study and he was doing the same work what her mother used to do, that selling a fish in the fish market and earning a very small income to support the family. So, in case of Sakal, if you think what has made a difference after several years of education, the education has added quality to the life of the Sakal. Not only Sakal, but his total family income has increased, his total productivity has increased. With the total productivity of the family income, it has given a growth in the economic development of the country. So if an individual is earning through a salary or he is earning something directly or indirectly, it contributes to the national income, because when you will earn, your family status will improve, your living style will improve, and that is going to increase your standard of living. But if we talk about Vilas was not got any kind of education. He was not healthy also, and he was doing the same work selling fish. So this is the situation where he was drawing the same salary. So what had made a difference? The biggest difference is the investment in human resource. Again, we came on the topic where we started, that what had made a difference, that is investment in the human resource. What kind of investment? Investment in education and medical care has given a high rate of returns in the future. So we can conclude that if we invest on the people, if we invest on the human instead of investing on land and capital, we too can get the return in the form of profit later on. So a child too with investment many a times, if our parents invest in the education of the children, they will give in return whatever in the future in the form of profit, job, salaries, income, etc. So, yes, finally, we conclude our topic till here, that investment in human resource can be a profitable as you invest in land and capital. So, please watch my video, like, subscribe, and write your comments in the comment section. If you like my explanation, please hit the bell icon for more new videos. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. And whatever comments you find out, if you found out any differences between the two friends, please reply in the comment box. I'll be more than happy if I receive your comment. Thank you so much. Thank you, girl.